Shalom, Lakem, Kal Yashara'al. How's your peace, Israel? Welcome back to another video. We are dealing with the topic at hand, which is the prophetic visions of the Messiah. Okay, and we're going to pick it up in the book of Isaiah. We're reading out of the Tanakh, Hebrew to English translation. Okay, the Tanakh. And we're going to read out of the book of Yeshaya. Yeah. And we're going to start at chapter 9. Okay. Chapter 9, and we're going to pick up in verse 6 to 7. Okay? And the reader says, in token of abundant authority and of peace without limit upon David's throne and kingdom, that it may be firmly established. Actually, let me read further back. We're going to start from verse 3. It says, the yoke for the yoke they bore, and the stick on their back, the rod of their taskmaster, you have broken as on the day of Midian. Truly all the boots put on to stamp with, and all the garments donned in. Let me read back. Because we're going to read from verse 1 of chapter 9. I think it makes a bit more sense. It says, the people that walked in darkness have seen a brilliant light, and on those who dwell in the land of gloom, light has dawned. You have magnified that nation, have given it great joy. They have rejoiced before you, as they have rejoiced at reaping time, as they exult when dividing spoil. For the yoke that they bore, the stick on their back, the rod of their taskmaster, you have broken on the day of Midian. Truly all the boots put on to stamp, with all the garments donned in infamy, have been fed to the flames, devoured by fire. For a child has been born unto us, a son has been given unto us, and authority has settled on his shoulders. He has been named the mighty God, his plan and grace, the eternal Father, a peaceable ruler, in token of abundant authority, and a peace without limit, upon David's throne and kingdom, that it may be firmly established in justice and in equity, now and evermore. The zeal of the Lord of hosts shall bring this to pass. My Lord let loose a word against Jacob, and it fell upon Israel, but all the people noted Ephraim, the inhabitants. Yeah, I think we should stop there. So it should, in the token of abundance, authority, and peace without limit, upon David's throne and kingdom, that it may be firmly established in justice and in equity, now and evermore. The zeal of the Lord of hosts shall bring it to pass. Okay, but that's Isaiah's prophetic vision of the Messiah, as it says that there was a son that has been born. Okay, and he's been given, the son has been given to us. And authority has settled on his shoulders, and he'll be called the mighty God, the eternal Father, a peaceable ruler. Okay, and he'll sit upon David's throne. Okay, so now we're now gonna go to the book of Micah. Okay, Micah, and we're gonna be in chapter 5, just one verse. And it reads, I'll read from verse 1. It says, And O you, O Bethlehem of Ephrath, least among the clans of Jehoiada or Judah, from you one shall come forth to rule Israel for me, one whose origin is from of old, from ancient times. Right? Truly he will leave them helpless until she who is to bear has born. Then the rest of his countrymen shall return to the children of Israel. We can continue actually. It says, he shall stand and shepherd, be the mighty might of the Lord, by the power of the name of the Lord his God. And they shall dwell secure, for lo, he shall wax great to the ends of the earth, and that shall afford safety. Should Assyria invade our land and tread upon our fortress, we will set up over it 7 shepherds, 8 princes of men. Okay, I think that's enough of that. So we can see that similar prophecy here. Micah is dealing with a vision of a man being born from the clans of Jehoiada, right, and shall shepherd the children of Israel. Okay, whose origin is of old. Okay, now we're going to go into the Psalms of Solomon. We're going to read from chapter 17, verse 21 to 31. Okay, and it reads on this wise. It says, for the heavens withheld the rain from dropping upon the earth. Springs were stopped that sprang perennially out of the deeps, that ran down from lofty mountains. For there was none among them that wrought righteousness and justice. From the chief of them to the least of them, all were sinful. The king was a transgressor, and the judge disobedient, and the people sinful. Behold, O Lord, and raise up unto them their king, the son of David, at the time in which thou seest, O God, that he may reign over Israel thy servant, and gird him with strength, that he may shut out unrighteous rulers, and that he may purge Jerusalem from nations that trampled her down to destruction. Wisely righteous, he shall thrust out sinners from their inheritance. He shall destroy the pride of the sinner as a potter's vessel. With a rod of iron he shall break in pieces all their substance. He shall destroy the godless nations with the word of his mouth. At his rebuke nations shall flee before him, and he shall reprove sinners for the thoughts of their heart. And he shall gather together a holy people, whom he shall lead in righteousness. He shall judge the tribes of the people that he sanctified by the Lord his God. And he shall not suffer unrighteousness to lodge any more in their midst, nor shall they dwell with them any man that knoweth wickedness. For he shall know them, that they are all the sons of their God. And he shall divide them according to their tribes upon the land, and neither sojourn nor alien shall sojourn with them any more. He shall judge peoples and nations in the wisdom of his righteousness. And he shall have the heathen nations to serve them under his yoke, and he shall glorify the Lord in a place to be seen of all the earth. And he shall purge Jerusalem, making it holy as of old, so that the nations shall come from the ends of the earth to see his glory, bring as gifts her sons who had fainted, and to see the glory of the Lord wherewith God hath glorified her. And he shall be a righteous king, taught of God over them, and there shall be no unrighteousness in his days in their midst. For all shall be holy, and their king the anointed of the Lord. For he shall not put his trust in horse and rider and bow, nor shall he multiply for himself gold and silver for war, nor shall gather confidence from a multitude for the day of battle. The Lord himself is his king, the hope of him that is mighty through his hope in God. All nations shall be in fear before him, for he will smite the earth with the word of his mouth forever. He will bless the people of the Lord with wisdom and gladness, and he himself will be pure from sin, so that so that he may rule a great people. He will rebuke rulers and remove sinners by the might of his word. And relying upon his God throughout his days, he will not stumble, for God will make him mighty by means of his Holy Spirit, and wise by means of the spirit of understanding, with strength and righteousness. And the blessing of the Lord will be with him. He will be strong and stumble not, and his hope will be in the Lord. Who can prevail against him? He will be mighty in the works, and strong in the fear of God. He will be shepherding the flock of the Lord faithfully and righteously, and will suffer none among them to stumble in their pasture. He will lead them all aright, and there will be no pride among them, that any among them should be oppressed. This will be the majesty of the King of Israel, whom God knoweth. He will raise him up over the house of Israel to correct him. His word shall be more refined than costly gold, the choicest. In the assemblies he will judge the peoples, the tribes of the sanctified. His word shall be like the words of holy ones in the midst of a sanctified peoples. Blessed be they that shall be in those days, in that they shall see the good fortune of Israel, which God shall bring to pass in the gathering together of the tribes. May the Lord hasten his mercy upon Israel. May he deliver us from the uncleanness of unholy enemies. The Lord himself is our King, forever and ever. Hallelujah. Right, now we're going to finish it up in the book of Enoch. Okay, this is first Enoch. We're going to read chapter 42. 48, sorry. Okay, and we're going to pick up in verse 2. We'll read in verse 1 because verse 2, there's no point for starting for verse 2. It says, "And in that place I saw the fountain of righteousness, which was inexhaustible, and around it were many fountains of wisdom, and all the thirsty drank of them, and they were filled with wisdom, and their dwellings were with the righteous and holy and elect. And at that hour the Son of Man was named in the presence of the Lord of spirits, and his name before the head of days. Yea, before the sun and the signs were created, before the stars of heaven were made, his name was named before the Lord of spirits. He shall be a staff to the righteous, wherein to say themselves, and not fall. And he shall be the light of the Gentiles, and the hope of those who are troubled of heart. All who dwell on earth shall fall down and worship before him, and will praise and bless and celebrate with song the Lord of spirits. And for this reason hath he been chosen and hidden before him, before the creation of the world and for evermore. And the wisdom of the Lord of spirits have revealed him to the holy and righteous, for ye have preserved the lot of the righteous, because they have hated and despised this word of unrighteousness, and have hated all its works and ways in the name of the Lord of spirits. For in his name they are saved. And according to this good pleasure hath it been in regards to their life. In these days downcast in countenance shall the kings of the earth have become, and the strong who possess the land because of the works of their hands. For on the day of their anguish and affliction they shall not be able to save themselves, and I will give them over into the hands of mine elect. As straw in the fire, so shall they burn before the holy face of the holy. As lead in the water shall they sink before the face of the righteous, and no trace of them shall any more be found. And on the day of their affliction there shall be rest on the earth, and before them they shall fall and not rise again. And there shall be no one to take them with the hands and raise them, for they have denied the Lord of spirits and his anointed. The name of the Lord of spirits be blessed." So I only hope the reader and listen to this word will be blessed by what we've come through. We're coming in the full volume of the book, as I've mentioned. Uh, you know, and we can see there's a very strong account of the Mashiach's coming. You see, many of the prophets and the servants have indicated the same message, and it's pretty much congruent across all the different sources. So may Yahweh bless you, may Yahweh keep you, may Yahweh cause his face to shine upon you, may Yahweh be gracious to you, may Yahweh lift up his countenance upon you, and may Yahweh grant you everlasting peace in Yeshua. HaMashiach's name I pray. Selah.